Hello and welcome to day 13 of the 24 Days of Root Beer. I'm Mark.
I'm Eric.
And today I'm proud and excited to announce, obviously no bias, that we are trying A&W Root Beer. So, did a bit of research. A&W started in 1919.
100-year anniversary.
At that time, 10 ounces was sold for just 5 cents. Now with 2019, a century later, the inflation, that's now 77 cents.
Wow.
But by doing a little math, you can figure out that the 10 ounces today is actually being sold for 95 cents. So the price has actually gone up over the century. But the product has, for the most part, stayed the same, despite like ownership changes. So Eric knows a bit about the history.
Yeah, so as Mark stated, the roots trace back to 1919, where an individual by the name of Roy Allen was participating in a parade to honor World War II veterans out in Lodi, California. World War I, excuse me. I did know that. But we're jumping the gun. So he was serving it at the parade, but it wasn't until 3 years later when, after his root beer became so popular, I guess, in his local community, he took on a partner to kind of grow the brand and see if they could make something of it. So he partnered with an individual by the name of Frank Rite. So Roy Allen and Frank White is how the name became A&W, and from there they expanded rapidly over the coming decades. Although it was only a couple more years into the 20s when Frank Wright was officially involved before Roy Allen bought out his share. However, he maintained the name, and A&W continued to grow in the coming decades, opening up restaurants across the country that still exist today.
In Canada.
Across the world, actually. And it wasn't until 1970 when people, just by such popular demand for the root beer itself, that they kind of split off that to the point where you could get root beer in bottles like this, and not just in restaurants, although, like we said, the restaurants continue to exist today. So this might be the most popular root beer of like all the massively produced root beers, and I mean, it's rootbeer.com is A&W's website, so that kind of stands for something, if anything. Mark, you got anything else?
So the history is very in depth, but the nutrition facts here: 76 grams of sugar. So
that's right up Mark's alley.
It is, but that might be why it's so popular, because you know that 76 grams is a lot. So it's very sweet, and that's probably one of the reasons why people like it so much. But
yep, you know, just took out the bottle, the vintage design, looking like a root beer barrel. They reverted back to this design in 2005 by popular demand. Also, A&W has one of the most popular mascots in the soft drink industry, known as the Great Root Bear. Get it? Root beer, haha. That was originally introduced in the 70s and brought back, I believe, at the beginning of this decade. So, pretty cool, a lot of cool history. Happy 100th anniversary to A&W. Let's get to tasting.
good pop.
Good pop. Pour. Try not to pour it all for myself, even though I want it. Solid fizzing, not too much, but it's not dissipating that rapidly.
Staying there.
Clean smell, not overwhelmed by the sugar. Root beer smell. This is probably the root beer I've had more than any other root beer in my life, so hopefully that doesn't influence my rating at all. Probably Mark 2, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm trying not to have any prejudice, socialized word.
Yeah. Clean. The thing I just love about A&W is just it's a creaminess to it. Would go great with root beer float, of course, but just the natural creamy taste. The aftertaste has like a sweet cream vibe to it, and it's just very, very smooth and very rich.
And it does mention this on this bottle. It says made with aged vanilla. You can definitely taste that vanilla.
Not just vanilla, aged vanilla. Only the best for the A&W folks. It's very, very smooth. The dogs, you hear the dogs in the background. They want some. I don't blame them. Who wouldn't? So what are you thinking, kid? You got a score?
It's hard to not bias it, but...
Bias it. Verb. that's a verb.
Anyway, it's hard not to be biased.
There you go.
But it's definitely going to be a higher score.
Oh.
Maybe my highest.
Oh, no way. That bias at work, folks. What's he going to do?
Oh.
What's he going to do?
8.4.
Oh! Unbelievable. Mark with this high score to date. Wow, almost the second high score overall. Let's see.
Oof.
I don't think I can go that high, folks, but we're up there again. Up there again. I'm going to go one more. 8.2. Very, 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 very good. Not the best I've had so far, at least for me. Mark Sutton is by a show, of course.
Nope.
But especially coming from a massively produced root beer like this, it stands the test of time and blows even some of the craft root beers, the regional root beers we've had so far, out of the water by far. Just smooth, rich.
Root beery.
Root beery. Just very clean that you can't go wrong if you ever see it in the store. Luckily, you can find it so many places. Or lucky. Truly blessed, if you will. Alright.
It's Friday. That's exciting. It's the weekend. And the holidays are coming up. So it's a good time.
Yeah.
And,
I'm glad. Friday the 13th. We didn't have our worst root beer on Friday the 13th. We had actually a pretty decent one at that. So we'll take that, folks. We'll take that. Alright. 13 days down. More than halfway. We'll see you tomorrow on the 14th.